Welcome everyone to our Kongsi idea session this morning. My name is Ning. I'm part of the Kongsi team and I will be your host for this morning. So imagine a system that can support families with nutritious and organic biodynamic producers. Imagine farmers, producers, and consumers are taken care of with a fair share of risk and pricing. Imagine everyone coming together and working together, supporting each other in a harmonious manner. And imagine what this would do for our ecosystem, our livelihoods, as well as our own well-being. Take a moment and imagine what kind of community would you like to see. And that is what we are trying to co-create here at Kongsi Co-op. To connect people, soil, and nature to co-create a harmonious ecosystem. And that's why we are here today to learn more of how we can do that together by connecting with people to learn how we can be better at what we do so that we can make our own local community a better place. Kongsi is based on the principle of human development. We understand that everyone has the potential to create, everyone has something to give, and therefore we want to create this platform that everyone can come together and make a better ecosystem, a better society together. So if you haven't heard of us before, we are also on Telegram. So please do join us there where we will share updates. You can search for Kongsi Co-op without any spacing on Telegram. We will see you there. So as a consumer co-op, one of the things that we really and want to emphasize on is the community together, supporting the agriculture system that is emphasized on human development, that takes care of people in the process. Right now, the conventional market-based system as we see today, as we are very much a part of today, has no inherent market mechanism to determine what is the upper limit of production. That's why we see a lot of overproduction of food, wastage of food. But at the same time, we hear a lot about hunger issues. We hear a lot about food security, ever so more nowadays. Is that really the real situation? Is there something that we can change? So conventional market has become very dependent on businesses, but is that really the way also? So Live Power Community Farm from California, in California, is a working example of this kind of the kind of economic alternative that we want to look into, which is based on associative economics. And there's a communication and work between producers, distributors, as well as consumers like us. So it's not just I produce and I don't know who my consumers are. And consumers will be able to know who my producers are as well and tell or inform producers that, hey, it's okay. We are fine with the seasonal food. We are fine with a variety of food that we might not need at certain times, but it's okay, you know. And producers can be very will be able to take comfort in knowing that consumers are okay with what I produce, you know. Therefore, this is the kind of ecosystem that we want to promote as well, that there's communication between all of the parties involved, and therefore we co-create a harmonious ecosystem that doesn't harm the environment. So today we have invited Gloria, Decater from Live Power Community Farm to share with us in an interviewing manner of her experience, her story, because that's something that we really admire and aspire to. We learn about Gloria through Yeat Hing, her apprentice back in 2018. And before we came on today, we actually spoke with Gloria. And one thing that really struck me or stuck with me was that when she said that she didn't have when we invited her to Malaysia, and she said that, I have not traveled so far before. Then she joked that she's only traveled out of, the furthest was Hawaii. Correct me wrong, Gloria. And that struck me actually. It struck me in a way that in a day and age that people are taking traveling for granted, we have farmers like Gloria and Stephen taking care of the land day in, day out. And that dedication, that commitment, that's something that it really took me by a surprise, that there are people out there that is so committed and still willing to put so much effort into taking care of the land, that, and also very contented. It's that sensation that they are contented at what they are doing and contented of what they have, and not thinking about going overseas and all that, which most of us would imagine would be a privilege or luxury already. So that's something that I hope we will, with their wisdom and their knowledge and their inspirational sharing, we will be able to adopt and learn, and also, bring her over if we can also in very near future. And also, I would like to share about our second speaker as well, Yeat Hing. Yeat Hing, he's from Mari Orchard in Pahang. So as I mentioned, that he is a apprentice for Life Power Community Farm back in 2018. He attended IPMT back in 2013 and was part of Just Life organic shop retail store for many years. And then he embarked on the business distributing bio clay pots to organic businesses. And one day he decided, actually not one day, it's always all planned already. It's all instilled within us, right? And in 2018, together with his fiance and wife now, they went to USA to look for Gloria and Stephen, and apprenticed there for more than almost 9 months. So later he'll be sharing his experience, his journey with us of what it is to be a biodynamic farmer. Right now, he's to me, an inspirational farmer, taking on the whole farm by himself and still having that beautiful smile on his face and a happy, his Xiao Yu, the little girl next to him, is also very interesting as well. So if ever we get the chance, we must go and visit them as well. So later we will hear his story. And also, because today we are in an interviewing model to make it more spicy and more interactive, so we invited Kelly, our director of Kongsi Co-op, as well as our treasurer as well. She is, I would say, would be safe to say, the pioneer of organic movement in Malaysia. More than 20 years of experience in organic, this industry, promoting relentlessly to people like us, consumers, of the importance of eating organic and biodynamic food for life force, not just for nutrition. She has been very active in promoting anthroposophy and conducting and co-founding organizing IPMT in Malaysia for more than almost 11 years now. And she also co-founded Kongsi. She's actually our connector, our biggest connector, in connecting all of us people with this kind of intention and pulling us together, And one thing that I really want to share is that she's the one that taught me to use my heart. Very weird, right? But in this day and age that we are using too much thinking and maybe a bit too much feeling, thinking and not so much our feeling, that's when we are doing things away from what our heart desires. So she was the one that helped me to reconnect with my heart and do something that I feel that is very useful for and meaningful as a person. So I hope that with this lineup, you will enjoy this morning session. And if you still think that there's people that are not in the room that you want to share with, please send them the link. And we hope that we will have a very beautiful morning session together, brainstorming and co-creating this ecosystem. So without further ado, I will pass the ball to our moderator, Kelly. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ning, for a beautiful introduction. Beautiful morning to everyone. And also, in case someone from other part of the world, yeah, wherever you are, welcome to our space, Zoom space in Malaysia. Actually, if you have visited Gloria's the Life Power Community Farm website, you see a lot of very inspirational quotes. I would welcome everyone to visit them there to get some inspiration. Yeah, simple story, but full of inspiration. And Life Power, very interesting, right? The first time I heard about Life Power, of course, is from Yeat Hing, who actually introduced us in our imagination, Gloria and Stephen. You know, the work that they have initiated and stay on till today. And we are very, very, very pleased that Gloria could join us this morning. And it's, I think, about 6 p.m. her time, 5 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. Yeah. Yeah, 5 p.m. her time. So yeah, it's not easy to find a perfect timing. So today we will invite Gloria to share with us some of her story, right? So the farm actually started in 1977, from what I hear. And in 1988, both Gloria and Stephen, who are the co-founders of Life Power Community Farm, decided that they need a different model, yeah, to operate the farm. So maybe we would like to, we invite Gloria to first share with us why the name called Life Power and what is behind the name. Life Power Community Farm. I think all words carry some background, and Gloria could share with us. And also why in 1988, the change in, you know, the model of operation for the farm. Gloria, over to you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm inspired by all of you and what you're doing and your passion and your love and your heart and your joy. It's very heartwarming, you know, and I'm honored to be here to speak with you. I wish Stephen was also here, but hopefully he's here in spirit and he's sharing. He would love to share all that he lived and breathed and worked his whole life. Life Power Community Farm, we went back and forth, you know, what are we going to name this farm? And finally we came up with, we're farming with horses and we're working with people, and it's Life Power, and we want it to be a community, and we want it to be working together with others. And so we came up with Life Power Community Farm. And often people leave out the community, and I get very frustrated because it's Life Power Community Farm, not just Life Power. But you know, the horses provide our cultivation source, and also people, and we do use tractors for baling the hay for the animals, but otherwise it's all of our electricity is generated by solar panels, and we're working with all the animals and the plants. And in 1988, well, actually the year before, we became aware of this idea of community supported agriculture. We were we live in a small town, and we had been doing a farmer's market, and it was difficult to sell all that we could produce. And so we started trying to reach out and figure out other ideas. And we connected with friends of ours on the East Coast who were one of the two original CSAs on the East Coast, and talked to them at length about this idea of community supported agriculture. And as we talked about it and we thought about it, it just seemed to make sense, because we would be able to provide a full diet for ourselves, as long as, however, other number of people that would be part of our community and part of the CSA. And we were, I think, lucky in the sense that we had, we are in Mendocino County, so it's 3 hours north of San Francisco. And I had done the Waldorf teacher training a number of years before, and had some connections with some Waldorf teachers. And one of them had reached out to me and asked about bringing their third grade class to the farm. And so they did that, and which started a whole number of schools started to come to the farm. And so we had this relationship with Waldorf schools in the Bay Area coming to the farm. And so we connected with quite a few families in San Francisco. And so we reached out to them with this idea of community supported agriculture, and asked them if they wanted to participate and become members of the farm. And we met with a small group of people in San Francisco, and Stephen always liked to tell this story that we had this group of people, we explained to them this idea, and that, you know, it's not just about vegetables, it's about people supporting a farm, a community coming together around a farm to support the land, to support the farmers. And ideally, those people who wanted to participate in that would become members for the year, and they would pay up front their share of the budget of the farm. And while we were sitting there in this meeting in San Francisco, one or two families sat there with their checkbook and wrote checks out to us for their contribution, their share of the budget of the farm for the season. And Stephen was just amazed that these people had the faith in us, the trust in us, to pay us, to support us, to grow their food. And so then we developed from there. We started small with 15 members, and learned as we went, and it only got better. I hope that answers the question.
Very, very well. Thanks so much, Gloria. Very nice. So when you first started the CSA, right, in 1988, you know, and I think you also try to engage the people, right? To how do we engage them? How do you engage with these people other than writing out the check, you know, that they want to continue to support the farm and, you know, and continue to enjoy this food? Because I read on your website that you wrote something very beautiful, that you and Stephen not only believe that farm must not only provide healthy, nourishing foods, but also an avenue for people to re-enter the garden and develop consciousness, strength, and commitment to care for it. Yeah, it's very, I mean, it is, to me, I think that is so ideal that people come, not just pay for the produce, but also be part of the land as a steward, a co-steward together with the farmers. How did you inspire these people?
Well, in the beginning, we had work weekends, but we were caretakers of this property for 20 years, so we didn't own the land. And we kept wondering what we were going to do and what was going to happen and what the landowner wanted to do. And finally, he approached us and said that he would sell us the land. But Stephen was very clear that food producing land is a community asset, and it needed to remain a community asset. So we engaged our members in helping us to figure out a system and a way of owning this land that would include the members, that would include the community. And so we had quite a few members with their knowledge and skill help us create this shared equity conservation easement. It was new and different, and it holds the land in perpetuity for farming. And that was, and so people were incredibly engaged. And by giving members an opportunity, by giving members a way to help, that's what they asked for. If you can find ways that they can participate and be a part of the farm, then they're more than happy to help. And then it just makes the community that much stronger. And they were able to help us fundraising. They were able to help us with legal matters, and along with coming to the farm periodically and helping with big projects that we needed to do at the time.
Wow, so they actually felt connected because they have been involved in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And Gloria, could you share with us, right, how you manage, because you mentioned that you started with 15, but I think over time, the number has grown quite significantly, right? So how do you work out with this participants of this CSA, like what to grow, or do you meet with them to discuss beforehand, so that, like, maybe how the process goes?
In the beginning, we met with the members more. We started out with members in San Francisco, which again, I said is 3 hours away. And it was a number of years before we ended up engaging families in our community of Covelo, and then the surrounding communities, Willits and Ukiah, an hour and a half away. And that surprisingly was much more challenging to get members than it was to get members in San Francisco. And in San Francisco, we reached out through the Waldorf schools, and they were, excited to have an idea where their food came from. And so I had to work really hard over the years to develop the membership in Mendocino County, and calling people, talking to friends, and having members talk to other members. And eventually that was the most productive way, is hearing members, new members, hearing from members who, existing members who had that experience. That by word of mouth, that was the best way to increase membership. And just our membership in San Francisco, the overall membership of the CSA eventually was 200, and 100 in the Bay Area and 100 in Mendocino County in our community. And then we had to step back in 2018 or so. I don't know, Yeat Hing might remember, and just do Mendocino County, go back down to 100 members. But particularly in San Francisco, so many of those members are still dear friends of mine today, and have been, particularly with the Stephen's passing, they are there to support me in any way needed. Just, you know, they just tell me to reach out in whatever I need, and they're there. And so, I mean, we really did create a family. Many of their children grew up on our vegetables. And when they've gone out on their own and gone to college or gone to other places, they're missing their basket of vegetables they got every Saturday morning. And I might have forgotten the original question that you asked me, Callie, so.
You have answered. Yeah, it's I think from what you said, right, it's actually very yeah, it's very touching, because that is the whole spirit of CSA, I guess. It's beyond buyer and seller. It's about community building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the consumer share the risk of the farmer. You know, I think the part that motivates me a lot to yeah, that motivates me a lot is really about how the risk is being shared among the community. Because if the farmers were to bear all the risk, we see some farmers giving up, you know, in the initial stage where they have to carry all the risks, right? So I guess that is one of the major spirit of CSA. Yeah.
Absolutely. There were a couple of years that our season always starts in the beginning of May, and it's challenging to, in this climate, to, without a lot of hoop houses and extra facilities, to have a very bountiful basket. But it really depends upon the season. And so some seasons, we would start with like 1 or 2 vegetables in the basket, and Stephen in particular, but both of us were quite nervous about the first week to hand out to the members. And but always when I would meet the members, they were like, oh my gosh, we are so grateful, thank you so much. This, you know, the food is so vital, it's so alive, it's so, you know, it really feeds us, and we've missed it, and we know more will come. And then there was one season that you know, it rained late, and so people had paid their share of the budget ahead of time, and yet we were not able to come up with vegetables at the beginning of May. And we wrote to everyone, and we got so many replies back saying, well, but this is what we signed up for. We're taking on the risk with you. And so this is just a part of what we're doing. And so don't worry, just take care of the farm, and we'll take care of you.
Thanks, Gloria. This is, I think this is the part that motivates me about CSA. I think as a consumer, if we can all share the risks of the farmers that who are truly stewards of the land, taking care of the truly nourishing food for us, not only for our current consumption, but also protecting the soil. So we have continuous supplies of, you know, nourishing food for future generations. So I think, like, you know, the CSA to me, through your eyes and through what you are doing, sounds to me is really a big project. It's not just for our generation. So it's like, you know, for generations to come. Like what you say, the children get to enjoy the food that you grow. And when they come to the farm, they are connected directly to the farmer. So this is, yeah.
Yeah, which is, you know, what I said earlier, that we, for 37, 38 years, we have hosted Waldorf schools, the 3rd grade farm visit. And so many of the children who were getting our vegetables come to the farm and made compost and milked the cow and fed the animals, and then they went back home and they knew that, you know, they had participated in taking care of the farm that was providing the food for their family, and it quite powerful for them. And I think, you know, Stephen had great concerns, you know. So we started in 1988, and that, you know, so the idea, CSA idea, was quite new, had just come over from Europe a couple of years before, and people, you know, were slowly opening up to this idea, and then over the years, you know, I don't quite know the right word. I don't really want to say co-opted, but the idea of CSA changed quite a bit. It kind of it lost its essence. What you guys are talking about and is the essence of CSA, the potential for change, the potential for, you know, really making a difference in the world, and, you know, having a sense of caring for the land and caring for the community and caring for the farmers and caring that the, you know, the how important that is, and not so much about service or price, because there's so much in the concept or what's happening out in the world right now that is being referred to or called CSA that is not the original intention. And so it's not allowing for the potential for, you know, positive change in the social realm. You know, I mean, because there's so many options where you can just go on the computer and, oh, this is a CSA, and you pick this and you pick that and you pick that, and your basket is picked for the week. But no, the idea of CSA is that you know, whatever the farm provides at that time, what is the farm growing in the moment, and what can it grow, and that's what you will receive. That's what's happening on the land at that time, not just because you want this or you want this. What's the season and what's being provided?
Yeah, thanks, Gloria. So for a country that is so new to CSA in over this part of the world, especially in Malaysia, I know a lot of farmers are, you know, probably we have quite a few farmers online today. I see their names, so and I'm sure this connects with them. What would be your advice or some wisdom for us? How can we bring that true spirit of CSA to a country that is so new in this initiative?
Well, I think it's really important to engage the community from the beginning, and that the community is a part of forming the CSA for each farm, and that there is a CSA. You might want to research her, Elizabeth Henderson. She upstate New York. She's no longer farming, but her CSA out of Rochester, New York, all her members, she had roles for almost all of her members, and her members came, it was only an hour away from the town, the farm was, and her members came and harvested and participated so much in the operations of the farm. And so then, you know, that allowed her to keep the price of the support of the farm lower, because she didn't have to, you know, have the extra labor. Excuse me, but it took her a while to create that membership, you know, to find the people who were willing to do that. And I learned over the years that as I would reach out to people and try to find members, I learned over the years that I wanted people to be well aware of what they were getting involved in, you know, and to understand. And so there's a great importance in education, and it's time consuming, but in the end, it's highly valuable. So, you know, newsletters, but gathering with people, meeting with people, explaining to them what you're going to do, explaining the challenges, getting them to experience the challenges. Every time I've had a work weekend here, and which I've been having this year, you know, and people are actually out there weeding or shoveling manure, you know, it's like, whoa, this is a lot of work, you know, but they love it, you know, and they love to be able to do it. But then they have a great appreciation for the food that they're receiving, because they're a part of it, but they also see what's involved, and, you know, the watering, the weeding, the harvesting.
Yeah, thanks, Gloria. Very, I think this is, like you say, very time consuming, but it's important. So this is very good advice.
And the other thing that we did in the beginning, but not so much later on, it was challenging also and time consuming. And I was still learning about budgets and how to create them, but it was very, very important to Stephen that be able to show the membership the budget of the farm. You know, what are the costs, you know, and let them look at it. And I mean, one year when we did that in the very early years, we showed them the costs and the income, and they said, well, we need to raise the cost of the share because you're not making enough and you need more money. And that was, and they also offered, this was a San Francisco membership, they offered that their share cost would be more than the members in Mendocino County, because they felt that they had higher incomes in San Francisco than in Mendocino County. And so, like, just giving the members the opportunity to be a part of all aspects.
Yeah.
Just making them aware of what's involved.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because you know, I'm finally seeing this in practice, because we read about this in the associative economics, where, you know, for a successful economics model, the producer, the distributors, and the consumers should come together and understand the finance, how this whole thing is being financed and how much to produce and what are the costs involved. So it's when I read that part, right, I always have this question mark, like, how can this work? But you just shared that picture. Very beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good.
Gloria.
Good.
I think the next thing is whether you find that maybe other farms are also inspired to go on this CSA path, or other farms are not interested. What is your experience with the surrounding farms?
Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what your question is.
Yeah,
Do you mean?
Yeah, whether
Yeah.
other farms around you, they are also inspired to go on CSA, because you have been doing that for like a long period of time. So is that a model that is interesting for the surrounding farms too?
Yeah, I think so. There's not so much in my small community itself, but an hour and a half away, and particularly a young man and his wife, a young man that worked here in 2016. He has a small CSA, and he tries to keep to the ideals that we worked with, and he feels it's very important to do that. And he's really glad that he learned here, and that's where he was exposed to it and working with it. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many, as I was saying earlier about, the CSA farms where, okay, so I think this is an important point in terms of, really building the strength of a CSA farm, is not to be afraid to ask people for a commitment, because there are so many farms that I know of where they only ask people to sign up for a month, 3 months, 6 months. They have all these different options. And so people are in and out all the time, or they want to take a week off, or, and so, in our membership, if they're going on vacation, they find somebody else to take that for them, but don't be afraid to ask a commitment for the year, because that is the strength of what you're creating, is, is the commitment for those people, that they realize that it's not, it's not a one stop, it's a, well, someone spoke about it. It's a marriage. It's not a one night stand,
That is so good. It's a marriage. Yes. Not a one night stand. So I remember. I think very very powerful advice about, don't be afraid to ask for commitment for a year. Yeah. And another year, and then another year. So
yeah,
this is great. But the other thing is,
well, I was just going to say, this idea that because when you do that, like just, oh, you can just sign up for a month or 2 months or 3 months, or, then they're not really holding the sense that they're supporting the farm, and that's, you really need to hold that. And that when you're providing that, and you're because so many farms, they base their CSA baskets on the prices of produce at a farmer's market. And so they will choose what they put in the basket for the CSA according to, you know, it has this value and this value and this value. And so it makes up, you know, like $15. And then they fill it. Well, but that's not the idea. You know, I mean, that was one of the excitements for me in the very beginning, because I did do a farmer's market for a period of time. And, you know, it was no longer about lettuce was $1.50 or corn was, you know, 3 for $1. It wasn't about the prices of those vegetables. It was about supporting the farm. And that's why it's not just about vegetables, it's about supporting the farm. And so you take away from those beautiful vegetables, you take the dollar value away from that, because that's not what you want to be thinking about when you're growing the vegetables. You want to be thinking about the quality of them, and not in the sense that they're going to give you this much money, but in the sense that they're going to feed these people who are committed to this farm, who are taking care of you, and you're taking care of them.
Yeah, this is so important message, because you know, when we put dollars on the produce, right, then maybe we are tempted to grow higher price crops that maybe it's not suitable for the land. Yeah, and then ended up having to, yeah, put in a lot of input, right? Whether it's compost or whatever, just to make the cash crop. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this is very important. Do you have subscribers who are not, who are like businesses? Do you have like restaurants, business as a subscriber, or they are all individuals, families?
We always had families, you know, just families, no businesses. There were times that people wanted us, there were businesses that wanted us to do that, but it just, it didn't work for us. I mean, many farms do that, but it didn't work for us because we are growing for the families. And, you know, so whatever was out there in the garden was for the families. And, you know, it's a whole different system to be doing quantities for a restaurant of certain things.
Yeah, great. And Gloria, what would you say are the things that you find most nourishing through the CSA experience for yourself?
Being able to provide high quality produce to, you know, all of these people that make them healthy, but also knowing that I know the people who are eating the food that we are growing. And I had the most connection. I do all the newsletters and the bookkeeping and talking with people and meeting with people, and I enjoy, you know, making sure, like when I'm dropping off vegetables and people come, I made sure that people were introduced to each other, that they knew each other, that I was hugging everyone, and make sure I get a hug before they, you know, when they get there or before they leave, and, you know, just creating that sense of caring together.
Very heartwarming. Thanks so much, Gloria. So do you have any words, you know, for our farmers who is online here?
Go for it. Do it. Do it. But, you know, engage the community, you know, bring them together, you know, have people share, have, you know.
Yeah.
get them to be a part from the beginning. And just thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Gloria. And I know some people might take a while to, so much to breathe in, right, from Gloria. I felt so nourished in this session. So much, you know, heartwarming messages that, yeah, it's not an easy path from what I gather, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah, it's definitely the rewards to our heart and to the community, to our future generations, are certainly worth the effort, or worth the the amount of effort that we have to put in to make it sustainable and make it work. Yeah, and I think the last word would be that this is not just a farmer's task. It's a task of the whole community. So yeah, we need to come together. A lot of us online today are the consumers. Yeah, so we are also part of this equation. So how do we connect with the farmers that they have this intention, yeah, to go on CSA? Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you know, I mean, not everyone does that, but I mean, what we have done with having the Waldorf schools come to the farm and do these visits, like 3 to 4 day visits, you know, just there's so much support in that, you know, and so much caring, and you know, you can think that it's too much work, or they'll get in the way, or you know, it might be too challenging, but you know, there are always tasks that you never have time to get done, and they might be very simple that you could have the children do. And then, you know, you're building that, you're building the connection and the commitment with the younger generation. And that's as important as anything.
That's, yeah, I think the CSA, part of the spirit of it as well is to also give hope to young farmers, yeah, the farmers that aspire to move on this path. Yeah, so especially the biodynamic communities that is slowly growing, sprouting in our country. Yeah.
It's so exciting that, you know, that there's a, you know, this interest in biodynamics and CSA and associative economics. It's very inspiring. I'm very excited about it.
Thanks.
I will have to come visit.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, we take that as a yes, Gloria. Yeah. And the idea of this CSA is, I'm sure it's not new to some of the farmers, especially the organic and biodynamic farmers. Yeah. So, and thanks, Gloria. And we will invite Yeat Hing, your apprentice for 9 months, to now come and share with us his experience and what inspires him to carry on the spirit. And I remember when he first started looking for a place, and his intention is always looking for a home for himself and his wife now, Mei Li. So they are not just looking for a land, they are looking for their home on the farm. So now they live on the farm with their little girl, who is just over 1 year old. So yeah, let's invite Yeat Hing to share with us how he took the courage, to drop everything and, you know, uprooted himself to US for almost a year. Yeah. And what inspires him to continue this path. Okay, Yeat Hing, over to you.
Hi. Hello. Good morning, friends, and good morning to everyone. Good evening to Gloria. Yep. I would like to thank Kongsi Co-op for organize this wonderful interview in this beautiful Saturday morning. Ning, are you play the PP for me? Yeah. Yeah. After listening to Gloria sharing, me and my wife, Meili, really miss this beautiful place, the farmer and the animals, and feeling like want to go Koblo now, yeah. Now I share my little bit story of mine. Many years ago, me and my wife used to work at organic product retailing and distribution company. From there, we have met many locals, organic farmers that inspire us about their passion to produce quality and safety food. Since then, we thought of becoming a farmer in the future. On 2017, Meili says, why not we take a break to travel, to see how others farmer is doing. Then on 2018, we joined MESA program. It's a multinational exchange sustainability agriculture that brought us to Life Power Community Farm in Koblo, California. Are you ready to farm tour at Life Power Community Farm? Yeah, so let's go. The farm in total of 50 acres are divided into many different fields for humans, animals, and the plants. Next slide. There's a huge and more than 100 years old classic log barn at the middle of the farm for the shelter of animals like cows, lamb, and piggy. The horses is in another field there, in another field out there. Another slide. Yep. Beside the main house, a cabin for apprentice and their kitchen. Another slide. Followed by veggie garden, hay and pasture field. Dogs and cats stay with Gloria. There's another important field is greenhouse, compost field, burn park. And yeah, another slide. All right. All these locations really impressed me about the farm usage planning. Everything goes to where their place is supposed to be. This is the example of what we call BD way of whole farm organism all about. I read the previous one, Ning. Ning, the previous one slide. Yeah. I remember clearly it was rainy and snowy day. On the second day, we arrived at Life Power Community Farm. As you all can see, the red mark there is our outhouse. Is our outhouse is our toilet, yeah. So it's really challenging for us, yeah. In the early spring, the weather wasn't warm enough. We won't work in the garden much. And another slide. We most did preparation work like repairs, sewing flats, CSA bucket, and housekeeping, and many more. Another slide. Harvesting for CSA member start in late spring. on the weekly meeting, Gloria will let us know the total share need to harvest. So we just harvest accordingly. The farmer will have the real picture of how many to grow. It saves the time of farmer, save cost, and reduce the produce wastage. Yeah. So farming in the climates, not yet, not this one, the previous one. Yep. Farming in the climates of 4 seasons, planning ahead is really important. Every week we need to sowing seeds to the flats to get ready for transplanting to the field under the right time when it's coming. Once we miss the timeline or delay the plant, the plant won't grow well in the field. And Stephen always emphasized on how important work according to previous logbook timeline. So we have always put in mind, follow the time. Yeah. After spring gone, then summer is coming. Summer is busiest season. Yep. Another slide. Busiest season of the year, because the weather from warm turn into hot. Day bright 5:30 a.m. in the morning and only get dark after 9 p.m. So during this time, we go full force to sow a lot of seeds and transplant most of the plants to the field. Then we keep weeding and watering the garden. The weather in afternoon can reach out 100 Fahrenheit, which about 37 Celsius above. Another slide is really hard for both human and animals. We usually hiding under the big oak tree shade and only back to work after 3 p.m. Yep. 1 second. Yep. Another slide. During this period of time, burning openly is prohibited because it may cause a massive fire. The wildfire had caused a big damage to the valley where we stay. Some residents need to evacuate their home due to the smoke. Yeah. In summer, we produce the most veggie in terms of varieties and the quantity, especially tomatoes and the melons. Yeah. What I can say in summer, we work like a drag horse. Yeah. So it's really hard time. Yeah. So another slide. When fall approaching, weathers shift slowly back to cold. We did the last transplant for 4 crops, like cauliflowers, broccoli, leeks, winter squash, and many more. Yeah. And also another slide. Another routine in the morning. Yep. Another routine in the morning was to collect walnuts at the front of the Gloria house. It's very fun. So every morning we very excited when we found this beautiful walnuts. Yeah. Stephen has shared with us a key successful CSA farm was about to produce a large variety of produce for the member, but not giving them big quantity or same produce at one time. So Stephen also insists must have fresh lettuce for the member in weekly hours, and every item must wash it clean and cut it properly before reach out to the members. So we did QC our product and make sure it's really we make sure the products is really in the top quality. Yeah. The last harvest was before Thanksgiving, so after that we prepare for the winter. Everything goes slow down. Human, plant, and animal were prepared to rest in the winter. We slowly dismantle the irrigation pipeline back to the barn, store the firewood properly, make sure it won't get wet. The feeling in fall season was a little bit down because it's time to say goodbye to the people, to the plant, and to the animal, because we will leaving the place soon. After stay a full season with Life Power Community Farm, we learned so much from Stephen, not only veggie, growing skill, but his attitude, discipline, and rhythm of farmer life. He insists that he grows only quality food for nourish people, body, and the soul. Nothing else than that. His belief in biodynamic farming that truly envisioned the farm as a whole farm organism. Another slide. Another slide, Ning. Oh, okay. We play the video. All right. I invite you all to see this video clip. Yeah. Okay. Life power, so named because it was animals and humans. It's all about living source of power. Yeah. How beautiful the picture, isn't it? Yeah. Steven, he once said, yeah, I respect the fossil fuel equipment can do, but I have never been excited about operating it. I don't like the fumes, I don't like the noise, and I don't like what it does to the environment. Yeah. So this very important message from him. Yeah. So he started with a pair of donkey a long time ago, then only switched to drive horse later, as we have seen just now. Yeah. So another slide. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. Gloria play an important role. She's just like a managing director in the farm. So Life Power takes apprentice, worker, volunteer, and visitor. Gloria will take care of our welfare, like a stipend, food, and place to sleep. And what makes me warm was we enjoy the same quality of organic food they had. Yeah. So this is very important for the apprentice. Yeah. Another slide. The beside of CSA, Gloria also managed the school visit from the border school. The kids will spend 4 days, 3 nights, usually 4 days, 3 nights in the farm. Just like they when they're in the farm, it's just like a small farmer. Yeah. Another slide. Gloria says, milking cow, shearing sheep, plowing behind a horse. Another slide. Plowing behind a horse, the kids remember it forever. Getting in touch with the earth, with their roots, and she loves to see what powerful experience it is for the kids. Yeah, they have been doing this for the past 40 years in Life Power Farm. Yeah. So another slide. Yeah. Sivan and Gloria commitment inspire us not to wait for the future. And we have since start our own biodynamic farm at home here in Malaysia. Yeah. Everything that we did in the Life Power, that me and Melly say that, hey, we could copy and bring back to Malaysia and implement here. Yeah. So now we are now caretakers of 9 acres fruit orchards. Another slide. Yeah. In Sungai Kelau, this month is our 2nd year's anniversary in this farm, and we live here. Yeah, we raise our kids here, so we love it. Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do out there. Yeah, that's why we need a community to support us. Yeah. If you like our story, to come and support us. Yeah. And what Gloria advised us, yeah, don't not hesitate to ask for support from the community, but we should build our community first. Yeah. So here's my today's sharing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Yeat Hing.
Yeah.
Does Meili has anything to add on?
She's really busy with her daughter now. Not able to do that.
Yeah, Meili is next time we invite Meili for part 2. Yeah, but it's very nice connection, right? That we actually have a farmer in Malaysia now that has that life reaching story experience in another part of the world, and now we connect to their host for that 9 months. So very, very heartwarming experience for everyone, I guess, today. I think we have a little bit of time before I pass on the time back to our MC for today, Ning. Whether we could invite maybe 1 or 2 who have participated today to share your harvest, as a gift back to our 2 speakers of today. Anyone has some harvest that you could share? If not, I will invite. I'd like to invite Ivan. Yeah, Ivan is a farmer, a long-time farmer in Malaysia. Maybe you can. Okay, Ivan asked us to wait. Yeah, maybe we can have Wai Ling. You like to share?
Hi, good morning. I don't have a video. I don't have a webcam, so I apologize to that. And I don't really have something right now in my head that I want to ask. But yes, I'd like to, since Kelly is inviting us, I'd like to say a word or two. I'm really grateful for this little sharing that we have this morning. I am part of Surina's community group, and we are also in a 10-acre orchard farm. And I am really having the feeling of, where do we start? How do we start? What are we going to do? But I am really grateful to have this morning where there's a lot of insight and life force that I do get inside me to just do it, just like what Gloria was saying, just do it. Yeah. And I can really see how beautiful it is to have a community together in such a beautiful, something beautiful that we can do for the earth. Yeah, I'm really grateful to Kongsi, Kelly, and Ning, Yeat Hing, and Gloria for all your efforts. Thank you.
Thanks, Huailing.
I'll share. Good morning and good evening to Gloria. To all of you. Thank you for inviting me to share a bit about from Decaying and organizers. Very inspiring. At this moment, it's so important for me to have this community, because I have cows, I have chickens, I have dogs, I have plants, and we are
Ivan, you have muted.
I'm not good at this. Okay. So we really have this manpower issue at this moment in time. So very inspiring from Gloria, like say commitment from the community and the people. That's key point, and working with, they become part of the taking care of the plants, the soil, the people, the caring, that is also, very important point here. And thank you so much, Gloria, for sharing it. And really, inspires us to work on it. That few things and how it will bring us in a long kind of like what Kali says, future generations to come. You see, the education part, even though there's lots of work, myself have been also educating for the past 30 years. So it's worth it, you see. So it's time to build that community at this moment of time. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Ivan. I think thank you so much. Ivan is also a long time organic, biodynamic, and natural, mostly farmer that farm with nature. So anyone who like to connect with all these farmers that we have online, right? So can stay connected to the Kongsi Co-op Telegram that Ning has shared the link. We will later on share their, if they allow us, we will share their contact details. So anyone that would like to connect with the farmers can do so. Okay, while we are building a bigger community together. Cool. Okay, so I will pass over the time to Ning to, before that, I just want to, a very heartwarming thanks to all of you who come with us this morning. It's quite early in the morning. And I will hand over to Ning, who will share some updates and news with us, how to stay connected, and some of the upcoming exciting community building events that is happening around Malaysia. Okay, over to you, Ning.
Hello, everyone. I'm back again. Thank you, Gloria, and thank you, Yeat Hing, for all the sharings, and Kelly for moderating. What do you guys think? I think we have to breathe out for sure. So if you can, while we use this last few minutes, you can type in your harvest as well in the chat room, and we want to hear from you as well. And we keep hearing about communities coming together. And I'm one person that whenever I go back to the village or the rural areas, one thing that I really admire in the community is that they have a place a huge hall that the whole village can go there and do things together, right? There's always these activities, festivities that we can do together. And that's something that we want also at Kongsi Co-op. So here showing you this picture is our HQ. And tomorrow actually is our get together. Every Sunday we get together at Jalan Puchong, next to the Klang River in KL, where we come to see what we can do together. And tomorrow we are inviting everyone nearby to come and witness our transformation, because from Monday onwards, we will be starting our construction here. So this is a house that we've acquired recently only, and it's still not usable at the moment, but we've always been doing things nearby, such as this, or like we already started a few compost pit. And throughout this periods, right, throughout having things to do together, we've seen so many people come together and share ideas, share their passion and share their sweat, you know, together. And we really enjoy and really hope that more people can come together and do this, because that's what Gloria kept mentioning to us. It's about the community. It's not so much about the produce itself. It's about people coming together and create this friction, create this this warmth together. That's what will last in the community. That's what sustains us. There's the memories that we create together. And here we want to create more memories with you, and so that, you know, it's long lasting and sustainable. And also at Kongsi Co-op, what we want is to bring together people, right? So to make you, to give you more conscious mind of what Kongsi Co-op is and what kind of community we want to create together, we also have this green carpet that we invite you to join us and learn what is it that we do and why you should join us as well. Because if we are just a consumer, there's so many things out there that we can buy, but now we want to create a platform that conscious consumers can come and buy, purchase or support producers or distributors or artisans, right? That does take care of the community. Because if we take care of our producers and our artisans, they will take care of us in return. So that's the kind of community that we want to co-create together. And having this green carpet is actually for our first step to being this conscious consumer and conscious human. So we hope that if you can, please join us, scan the QR code, and there are dates in the Google form that you can choose to come. We always have a homemade lunch picnic session after that, you know, we can hopefully warm up your heart. And, you know, this is our chance to meet more people, more like-minded people that want to co-create this holistic ecosystem for human development. Please allow me to share our closing verse. A healthy social life is found only when, in the mirror of each soul, the whole community finds its reflection. And when, in the whole community, the virtue of each one is living. Thank you, everyone.